Welcome back to the channel. Today what I'm going to be talking about is low self-esteem and what does it take for a person to remove themselves from that type of thought process. And in my opinion, the best way to do that is normally it's going to take somebody else to basically give you that startup point. Because a lot of times a person that's having that low self-esteem, I mean, they can't see anything positive about themselves. They can't see anything that's going to cause them to all of a sudden just miraculously just have, this exorbitant type confidence. So a lot of times it takes a outside person to give that person that spark, to make that person at least have the concept or the thought that they are better than what they're thinking of themselves. And having low self-esteem will basically prevent a very intelligent person from exceeding the expectations that they don't even believe that they can do themselves. It would actually prevent a person that's very intelligent to not be all they can be in life if they maintain that level of low self-worth. In other words, I've known a few people that suffers from that. And I would like to say suffers from it because it's killing the potential that the person have in them. Very smart people, but just not able to look at the brighter side of life. And sometimes it takes that outside person to give them that spark. But in order for them to maintain a high level of thought of themselves, that's something that they're going to have to eventually within themselves start believing in for themselves. Whatever that may be, that may cause them to believe more in themselves than they once did. But low self-esteem is a byproduct, I think, of the industry itself. Because the industry try to tell you, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry that pretty much mandates what an individual is supposed to look like. If you look at a lot of the comments and stuff, even on this channel, you'll hear a lot of people sit up and say that people are supposed to look like this, they're supposed to look like that, they're supposed to be like this. If you are a professional bodybuilder, that's your thing, that's your sport, that's what you do. A lot of people think that I have some type of hate against bodybuilders and stuff like that, which I don't, because I can care less what another person does to their bodies. But that doesn't say that I'm not gonna say that this person is not natural or whatever or what have you. That's the only part that bothers me with a person that's enhanced, is that they are claiming to be natural. And that's the misconception that the industry brings out there, because they use these people that are enhanced and try to sell them off to you like they are everyday normal people, that what they've accomplished through genetic potential and consistent workouts, which is not true. So they give a person that would normally think that would normally have a higher thought process of themselves to have a lower thought process of themselves, because they've been working out for this long and I don't look like that. That's what they're saying to themselves. I don't look like that person. Why can't I look like that? I must not be good enough to look like that, or something like that, which is not true, because the person that they're comparing themselves against, is a person that's enhanced. So a lot of that low self-esteem comes from the industry. You look at supermodels. You know, these people do extravagant things to themselves to make themselves stay as small as they are. And the industry tells you that this is what a person is supposed to look like, a female is supposed to look like. And so you have these young girls, you have some of them that are made more fuller, they're more thicker looking women. And you get a lot of women that will look at these models and then look at themselves and then say, hey, I don't look like that. You know, what's wrong with me? You know, why can't I get my body down like that, to that size? You know, things of that nature. That's right there, another cause from the industry of low self-esteem. So that's why I talk the way I do on my channel, because my channel is for those natural people to let them know that what they're doing is the right thing to be doing. To let them know that they do have potential, they do have self-worth. And not listening to the industry would greatly increase the number of people with a higher thought process of themselves and better self-esteem about themselves. That's the whole purpose of this. It's let people know that that would normally be excellent weightlifters, but they're not feeling like that because they're looking at a illusion that the industry is producing. And it's like I told you earlier, the industry is a $1 billion industry, and their job is to make as much money as possible. And they are basing athletics, sports, body sizes off of what's the word I'm looking for? Psychology, basically. They're using psychology to convince you that what they're saying, what you should look like, is the right thing to be. And because you don't look like what they're saying you should look like, you would be willing to pay the money to get you to that level, to get you to that size, which is an illusion, which are basically, like I said, models that are starving themselves to look like they do. Photoshop, you know, a lot of it has to do with Photoshop. Even a lot of the bodybuilders Photoshop, you know, in order for the muscles to look more detailed. They're shading and airbrushing, all kinds of stuff on pictures. That's why when you look at them in photos, they look, you know, incredible. Then you see them in person and they really don't look as impressive, simply because it's a picture. It's a manipulated picture, you know. And especially with today's technologies, it's very easy to give the illusion or perception of a person looking a certain kind of way. You know, you have all kinds of filters that you can use on Instagram and Facebook and all that kind of crap. You know, you have all that kind of stuff. You know, a lot of people will, like, on this channel, will look up my Instagram page and they will look for bodybuilding stuff. You know, my Instagram, my Facebook page, whatever it is, all that stuff is 100% different from this channel. You know, Facebook, every now and then I talk about something that's have to do with health and fitness. Instagram, I never talk about anything about health and fitness. You know, because my whole life is just not lifting weights and stuff like that. That's not me. That's not the whole me. That's just a part of me. You know, the health and fitness part of it. You know, Instagram is basically centered around photography. That's what I do on the side. That's my thing on the side, photography. That's what I do. So, you know, if you go to Instagram looking for bodybuilding stuff, you're not going to get it. You're going to only get photography. That's two different sides of the same person. You know, I like to be a more rounded person about life. I don't put all my eggs in one basket. I venture off on a lot of different things. But never let the industry dictate what you should look like. Never let the comments of these people on a lot of these YouTube channels tell you what you're supposed to look like. Like I said, you get people in the comments all the time. They talk a lot of stuff. They talk a lot of crap about whatever. But you'll notice that the images that they are showing you, a lot of times is nothing. It's a picture of a silhouette. Some of them have pictures of a person, but I guarantee you they can't duplicate that picture in another way to show you that that picture is not them, which is normally not them. But they have all kinds of advice about what you should look like. But they're using the picture of somebody else that they done found somewhere and showing that to you. And a lot of the ones that don't know think that that's them. It is not them. It's very few of them that have an actual picture of themselves on those thumbnails. Very few of them. You know, so, you know, if you got a YouTube channel, you know, when you get them folks talking crazy to you and talking, you know, look at the thumbnail. Look at what they're looking at. Go look at their page and see if any kind of work been done from that person. If the person has no work shown, why should you let them bother you? Why should you let them have a say-so in what you're doing? You shouldn't. Because they are irrelevant. They're irrelevant people, you know, to even be considering. You know, a lot of you are scared to even, you know, put content on your channel because of your feelings getting hurt about these same old people that's not doing nothing, making a negative comment about you. Why worry about people that's not doing nothing? You should. It just wouldn't make sense for you to be sitting there worrying about that kind of stuff. But low self-esteem normally takes somebody else to tell you something positive about yourself, and over time you'll begin to believe that for yourself about yourself. That would allow you to prepare yourself to the highest heights that possible that you can accomplish. You know, because without being able to see yourself in a better light and pushing yourself forward to do better, to be better, you'll never know your true potential because you don't think you have it because of the industry. And they say that I'm a hater because I'm telling you, you better than what they're saying you are. They say I'm a hater because I'm telling you not to be comparing yourself against somebody who's using some type of drug to enhance themselves, giving you the illusion that they're natural and what they're doing you can accomplish. And then when you can't accomplish that, then you feel bad about yourself. But then they say I'm hating because I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that this person is not who they seem to be. People don't want the correct information to be given out there, especially if it's not making them money. A lot of the ones you see with the negative the negative comments and stuff like that, those are the ones that have that low self-esteem, and they feel like that since they miserable, they feel like everybody else should be miserable like them. You have people that think like that. That's people. That's the world we live in. That's reality. But you can't let other people dictate your life. You know, if you're an everyday 9-to-5 working person, you're naturally not going to build the same body that a person with nothing to do, a teenager with nothing to do but time on his hand to stay in the gym. You're not going to look like he's going to look. And you can be a teenager right there with him, you know. If he got more time than you, he's going to be able to do better than you. That's just the reality of it. So you're not supposed to look like that. You're not supposed to be able to match him 100%. Because you're not putting the same time in. Not that you don't want to. It's that you don't have the time to. Time is a commodity that we can't control. None of us can control time. Therefore, we're all going to have different ratios of physical fitness because of time. If you take a person that have 3 kids and you take a person that have no kids, and the one with no kids say you're just not applying yourself enough. Well, I say this person is a fool, because this person right here that with no kids don't understand the magnitude of what it takes to take care of kids, actually take care of them. Schoolwork, all that kind of crap like that. They don't understand the magnitude of that because they're not doing it. They're making bases off the time that they have. And they're pushing their circumstances off on you, and then you accepting them, and then you feeling bad because, well, I can't get in shape like I want to. I can't do. You can't spend the time in the gym like that. But you can spend what time you can make for that and press toward a better health condition and a better physical condition. You can still press for it. It may not be as impressive as this person with nothing to do, but it's still better than what you're doing with nothing. Anyway, that's what I want to talk to y'all about. If you hadn't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And again, I'll be talking to you later.